The baseball team wins another weekend series. Meanwhile, the beach volleyball team rolls through their non-conference schedule. We've got all that and more on this edition of Monday Minutes. Hey Ospreys, I'm Kathryn Marsh. Due to luck of the draw, the men's basketball team was able to host one more home game against the Florida Gators in the NIT. Sadly, it was the last game of the season. The Ospreys lost 97-68. Dallas Moore had the team high 23 points, as well as 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Chris Davenport had 14 points and 5 rebounds. Bo Beach was able to add another 13 points and grab 6 rebounds.
And, give them credit. It was 11. We got stagnant. We had 7 stops in a row, which turned into 4 turnovers on the other end. They got 21 points in the first half off turnovers, and they started flowing. Next thing you know, Casey Hill looks like he's a 45% three-point shooter, and Chiaz, and I mean, all those guys. It almost like the basket just got so big for them. And to their credit, they just continued to flow, continued to fire. And I think they were 12 for 18 in the first half. And to our guys' credit, we talked to them at halftime, and if you don't count the last minute where they beat us 10-1 on those 2 threes and whatnot, we outscored them 42-30 in the second half. So obviously give our guys credit for fighting and for coming out and competing. Back-to-back 20-win seasons, back-to-back championships. And, we can't let these last 2 home games deter what these guys have accomplished and how great this team is. And I told the guys that, they'll be back to being a Hall of Fame sometime whenever that time comes when they're eligible for what they did in the $1 million scoreboard and just changing the way people view the University of North Florida. And it's because of Bo and Bebe's class and then Dallas's class following up. So it was a proud moment from that aspect of what we accomplished, but obviously not the game.
Yeah, because we lost our last 2 games, but we're going to have a totally different team next year. We got 4 seniors leaving, and that played a big role, so we just going to have to get ready in the offseason, put in the work. We got CJ and DeAndre coming up. They've been coming along well, just trying to get them up there and stuff. And we got Romello coming back. It's going to be a big key inside, get us a lot of rebounds, and he's actually getting big, man. He's kind of scary, look like Patrick Young, about 260, 270, so he's going to be really good for us. And then we got me, Chris, Nick, Ozzy, everybody coming back. So we're going to just got to get in the gym and get ready.
Since our last show, the baseball team had 2 weekend series with UNC Wilmington and Quinnipiac. They also had midweek games with USF and Bethune-Cookman. The Ospreys went 7-1 over these 8 games with 4 wins coming through walk-off hits. This week, they'll travel to Daytona Beach to play Bethune-Cookman tomorrow, then host Dartmouth on Wednesday and Thursday. The men's golf team played in 2 tournaments over the break. First, in the General Hackler Championship hosted by Coastal Carolina, the Ospreys finished 7th in a field of 15, and Taylor Hancock finished tied 7th overall. In the Schenkel Invitational hosted by Georgia Southern, the Ospreys finished 7th overall, with Andrew Alligood finished tied for 10th. Next up will be the Irish Creek Collegiate co-hosted by Davidson and UNC Charlotte. The women's team started the Moorhead State Spring Invitational yesterday and are currently tied for 11th place out of 20 teams. The men's and women's tennis teams went 1-1 over break. The men's team lost to conference opponent USC Upstate 4-3, but rebounded to beat 64th-ranked Georgia State 4-1. Lassie Muschaitis earned ASUN Men's Tennis Player of the Week honors. Meanwhile, the women's team lost to 41st-ranked South Alabama 6-1, but beat Southern Illinois 7-0. The women's team will travel to take on NJIT this Thursday. This will be their first conference opponent of the year. They'll then take on USC Upstate on Saturday. The men's team will take part in the USF Invitational starting on Thursday. The beach volleyball team went to Alabama and South Carolina and won every game. In Alabama, the Ospreys took on Principia and Spring Hill College. They swept the Panthers 5-0 and beat Spring Hill College 4-1. They then compete in the South Carolina Classic hosted by South Carolina. They beat all 4 teams and didn't give up more than 1 point in any of the matches. This now gives the team a 9-game winning streak as they get set to take on Stetson on Wednesday and Florida Gulf Coast and Mercer this Friday and Saturday. The softball team has been playing well over break and started conference play this weekend. The Ospreys competed in the USF Under Armour Showcase and won 3 out of the 5 games. They then lost to 16th-ranked Tennessee 9-4. They opened ASUN play against Stetson on Saturday, splitting a doubleheader. The Ospreys then lost Game 3 of the series 8-0. They're off until March 30th when they play a doubleheader against Florida A&M. Joining us today is senior outfielder Shelby Duncan. Thank you for joining us, Shelby.
You're welcome.
So with 10 days off before you guys play Florida A&M, what does the team plan on working on?
I feel like we just need to stay focused at practice. Our bullpens need to be great. I feel like we need to stay solid on defense and just continue to take clean cuts and stay focused and have intensity during practice.
So you lead the team in RBIs. What does it feel like to be in that leadership role?
As a senior, I think it's very important to set a standard for the freshmen and for the underclassmen. I try not to worry too much about the statistics, but just go up and have quality at-bats that the underclassmen can look up to.
Well, thank you for joining us. That's all we have for you on this edition of Monday Minutes. For all of us here at Osprey Sports Network, I'm Kathryn Marsh.
And I'm Shelby Duncan.
Have a great week
And
go Ospreys!